Why does money always run out for some people, no matter how hard they work? Maybe you receive your paycheck, feel relieved for a few days, and then that tight feeling comes back. Today I'm going to show you the rule that every poor person needs to follow to never run out of money again, even if you earn very little. And before we continue, if you're new to the channel, subscribe now to keep up with upcoming videos, and leave a like to help this content reach more people. Now, to understand why this rule is so necessary, we need to face a truth that almost no one likes to hear. Money doesn't run out because the salary is low. It runs out because the same choices are repeated every month, almost on autopilot. Different people earn similar amounts, yet get completely different results. The difference isn't how much comes in, but how each decision is made the moment the money arrives. What keeps this cycle going isn't a lack of effort, it's the absence of a clear rule. Most people live by reacting. The salary comes in, the bills show up, the invoices take control, and the money obeys. There's no defined plan, only urgent responses to urgent problems. And when money is used this way, it always ends up in the same place, before the end of the month, before peace of mind. Running out of money doesn't just mean looking at your bank account and seeing a zero balance. It means living on constant alert, depending on the next paycheck to breathe with relief. When this happens every month, it stops being an accident and becomes a pattern. And patterns exist because they are built by repeated behaviors. If a behavior can be identified, it can also be adjusted. And that's exactly where change begins. Now that you understand the pattern, we've reached the central point of this video. There is a simple rule that completely changes a person's relationship with money. Never spend before paying yourself first. That means that the moment money comes in, a portion of it must be set aside immediately for you, before any bill, before any expense, before any desire. It doesn't matter if it's a small amount. What matters is the order. People who live without money do the exact opposite. They leave everything for later. They pay bills, handle emergencies, consume whatever brings pleasure in the moment, and if anything is left, they think about saving. The problem is that almost nothing is ever left. Those who build stability, on the other hand, make money follow a clear rule from day one. When you pay yourself first, you take control of the flow. Money gains a defined destination instead of simply disappearing throughout the month. This rule isn't about getting rich fast, it's about stopping life on the edge. It's what creates the first space of safety, even in difficult situations. And the earlier this rule becomes part of your routine, the faster your mind understands that saving isn't an option, it's a priority. From that point on, everything begins to reorganize naturally. Even though it's simple, this rule is often ignored by those who need it the most. That's because money isn't treated rationally by most people, but emotionally. When the paycheck hits, there is an immediate sense of relief, almost like a reward for the entire month's effort. That relief opens the door to impulsive decisions, small concessions, and expenses that seem harmless but add up quickly. On top of that, there is constant pressure to keep up with the consumption standards around us. Easy installments, promotions, and comparisons make people believe they can fix everything later. The problem is that later never comes. Without a clear rule, each choice is guided by the moment, not the future. The lack of financial education reinforces this behavior. No one teaches that money needs order before it is used. And when there is no order, money always slips away first from those who already have less room for error. Applying this rule doesn't depend on earning more money. It depends on starting with what you already have. The most common mistake is believing it's only worth saving when a large amount is left over. In practice, what builds stability is consistency, not size. Setting aside a small amount at the beginning of the month trains the brain to respect the rule and reorganizes everything else. The first step is to define a fixed amount, even if it seems symbolic. It can be 5%, 10%, or any amount that fits your current reality. The second step is to separate that amount as soon as the money comes in, without negotiating with yourself. Don't wait to see if anything is left. Do it first. When this becomes a habit, expenses naturally adjust to what remains. You start spending with more awareness, make better choices, and rely less on improvisation. Control starts small, but it grows quickly when the rule is respected. When this rule is applied consistently, the effects appear faster than most people expect. In the first 30 days, the main gain isn't financial, it's mental. You start knowing exactly where your money is going and stop living in constant surprise. In 60 days, control increases. Decisions become more conscious, impulse purchases decrease, and the sense of disorganization begins to fade. By the time you reach 90 days, something important happens. You no longer depend entirely on the next paycheck to feel secure. Even if the amount saved isn't large yet, it represents autonomy. At that point, anxiety begins to give way to confidence. The rule creates predictability, and predictability brings peace of mind. It's not an overnight life change, but it is the clear beginning of a much more stable path. There is a clear moment when your relationship with money changes, and it has nothing to do with earning more or changing jobs. A person stops being financially poor when they stop completely depending on the next paycheck to survive. As long as every bill, every purchase, and every unexpected expense depends on money that hasn't arrived yet, the feeling of pressure remains. When the rule of paying yourself first is respected for long enough, this dependence starts to decrease. Saved money creates room for choice. Small problems stop turning into crises, and decisions are made more calmly. This changes your posture toward consumption and work. From that point on, money stops being just a response to monthly emergencies and becomes a tool for organization. It's this shift in relationship that marks the real exit from financial poverty, even before large amounts appear. The big difference between those who build stability and those who live under pressure lies in how they decide. Financially organized people follow rules even when it's uncomfortable. Those who live without money usually decide in the heat of the moment, seeking immediate relief. When emotion comes before the rule, money loses direction. When the rule comes first, behavior adjusts. Over the long term, this simple choice defines completely different paths. If you've made it this far, you already understand that there is no financial change without conscious decision. Every month you postpone this rule is another month living on the edge, repeating the same cycle and expecting different results. Money responds to how it is treated. When there is no order, it disappears. When there is priority, it starts to stay. This is not a process about perfection, but about consistency. You don't need to get everything right at once or transform your life overnight. You only need to choose to act differently the moment money comes in. This simple choice, repeated month after month, builds something many people have never experienced: peace of mind. Remember this, it's not the amount that changes your financial life, it's the habit, and habits are only formed when there is commitment to a rule, even in difficult months. Now the choice is in your hands. You can continue living month after month, reacting to bills, feeling relief when the paycheck arrives, and worry when it disappears. Or you can decide to follow a single rule and permanently change your relationship with money. It's not about cutting everything or living in constant sacrifice. It's about taking control. Every financial transformation begins with a simple decision maintained over time. When you pay yourself first, you declare that your future also matters. This small act changes how you spend, how you plan, and how you see money. If you want to get out of the cycle of financial pressure, the rule is already clear. Now it's up to you to apply it. Financial control doesn't start when there's plenty left over. It starts when you decide to stop living on the edge.